Good morning and welcome to the Comics Experience Graphic Novel of the Month Club for the month of March. We're the March right now. And it is Sunday, March 24th. Our book this month was the fantastic Radio Delley by Álex Martínez and Xavier Bonet. Did I pronounce that close to correct?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
I want to welcome Álex and Xavier, who are here from Spain. You're in Madrid. Is that specifically? Are you in Madrid or?
No, no specific Madrid. We are in Lleida. It's a city of Catalonia.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you for joining us all the way from Catalonia, because that's pretty cool. Here's our kids. Hi guys. Did you guys
Hey,
like
guys.
the book?
Hey.
Very good. They like the book. That's a good thing. So let me start. My first question always is why comics? Why is it that comics are the medium that you guys want to tell stories in?
Well, I suppose that Álex think the same than me, but I suppose that is the best way to express yourself. And in our case, we have all the control for the art and the comic. So that is important because it's so different in other industries. For example, I come from illustration, and normally in illustration, you need to work for other ideas. And when you work in your comic, you can put your own ideas. And I think that is a privilege.
Yeah, the thing is to tell a story, and we studied animation. We studied in a school animation in Barcelona, but we have found our way to tell stories in the books. Mm-hmm. So we like comics since we are kids, then teenagers, and
yes. For example, in my case, I when I was child, my big brother reading a lot of Marvel comics, like for Fantastic, Spider-Man, and this was very impressive for me. But after, when I was teenager, I started to reading manga comics like Akira, like Ghost in the Shell, Nausicaa, Dragon Ball, and this is blow my mind. Yeah. It was incredible for in Spain. It was really incredible because the culture in Spain about the comic is a little poor. It's not the same like your country or another countries.
Sure. There are certainly any number of pretty famous Spanish cartoonists, though. I mean, I admit I don't know very much about the Spanish market. Are you guys have comic stores there? Like stores just for comics? Yeah. Are they?
Yes.
Are they mostly selling American comics imported, or are they selling stuff that's translated, or are they selling native material? How does it work?
Well, this is
en nuestras tiendas.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Spain, there are a lot of comic book stores, and you can find in there a lot of comics from everywhere. Manga has a lot of is very famous. Manga, Japanese comics. Also Spanish comic and American comic.
Yes, most of them is American comics, and it's curious because the comic stores works like a cultural center and works with a serious comics, animation. It's a mix. It's not only a comic store.
Understand. So you've told me some of the comics you read, Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, things like that. What did you read when you were younger?
Well, here in Spain exist different comics like Mortadelo, and these comics are humor comics.
Comics de España.
Okay.
Do you know Mortadelo y Filemón?
No, I don't.
It's very famous here in Spain. It has a very good drawings. Is humor, and it's very famous here in Spain. There are a lot of illustrators and writers, but the market is a little bit reduced compared with another countries.
Sure.
There are many good illustrators and writers and many good comics.
Yeah. So you mentioned studying for animation as training in school. You both studied animation together?
Yes, in the same course.
Okay.
So we met in this course, and it was incredible because it's not typical in Spain focused in animation. It's very strange when you say for your parents that I want to study animation. It's very strange here in Spain. I suppose that in other countries it's the same, because all the professions focused in the art is like the work for the circus, and finally is a little bit different. Yes.
Yeah. Are you, so when you, and just because I'm curious about this, are you, when you studied in school, were you studying more 2D animation or computer CGI kind of things?
We studied 2D animation.
2D animation.
Hand drawn. Yeah.
Yes. And the part traditional of the 2D animation, we didn't work with computers, only with paper sheets and traditional.
Traditional animation.
Yes, and this is I think that this is, you can see this part in our comic, because we more influenced with animation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely saw some of that in here. So when you got out of school studying animation, did you then find a job at animation studio, or what happened next?
Well,
yes. We started to work in an animation company, and we make it series in Flash, but it was for a year more or less.
Yes.
After that, we started to work in different jobs, and doing illustration, design, something like that.
Yes. Our line is not definitely
The same.
but when I started in the animation studios in Spain, it was a really bad moment to start to work in the animation world, because more companies in Spain closed in the same year that our finish the the studies. So it was very complicated. But finally, I think that when you have a dream, normally you know exactly, which is your dream. But when you grow up, this dream is transformed, and I don't know what happened when you grow up. For example, I started with animation, and now we make comics, illustration. So
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you should always try not to grow up too. That's always my advice. Keep a little bit of the kid in you forever. So what was the genesis of Radio Delley? Where did this come from?
Synopsis.
No.
¿Cómo empezó? Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Well, Xavier and I started many projects together, but as a student, but but it doesn't work for many reasons. But we always
Work together.
know that we want to work together, and someday we were talking, and we put different elements that we wanted to see in a comic book. All these elements is the genesis of Radio Delley. Adventures, fellowship, friendship, humor, sci-fi, a little bit of terror. These elements we thought that were important for us, and we make a comic with that elements. We were talking, and I wrote a synopsis and a storyline, and that's the genesis of Radio Delley.
Okay. Who published it originally?
Yes, here in Spain, it was published by Ediciones Babylon.
Okay. And was it published as a standalone book, or was it serialized in a magazine? How did it?
No. It's only one shot. It's
Okay.
only one shot, like in United States.
Oh, okay.
And the format, I think that is the same.
Yeah, you can compare if you want.
It's the same without Comic Sans.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. What made you set a story in small town America?
Well, I think that it's my blame, because I really like your culture. On the other hand, I like so much Laika Studios, and for me, Paranorman, it was a reference in animation, Coraline, and always thought about one story in your country, and I think that is a way to publish in other countries, because normally the Spain culture is more local, is not globalized than the United States cultures. I try to speak with the best way and with my best English. I suppose that everything is fine.
Everything is fine. No, it is fine.
Okay.
Had you come to America at any point before you started doing this comic? Is it based upon any firsthand knowledge, or is it all from movies and television shows and things like that.
Yes, I think that is coming from movies, television.
Yeah, we don't speak English with nobody in our life. We write emails and we watch movies.
Yes, in Spain, we don't use the VCO or the
Sí.
yes we
original version.
So we have actors that speak for the actors. So it's normally that the people in Spain doesn't speak very well the English.
Right. It's dubbed. It's dubbed into English.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that first of all, when receive your mail about the interview, Álex y yo thought about how explain all
the ideas,
with another language. But I think that is important because we are so happy can explain our ideas in another country. It's a great opportunity. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. What was your process in creating the book? Javier, you write a script first and then Álex draws it, or are you doing layouts? How does it work back and forth between you?
I wrote the script. Okay, as I said before, I had the elements that we want to show in our story, and I wrote an storyline. Xavier liked it, and I started to wrote all the comic.
Mm-hmm. The process started with some sketches about from the idea, and with this idea, I think that Álex started to write the script. And for example, here we have some characters. I don't know if is you can see.
Yep. That's great. We can see that fine. Yeah.
Yes, this is the first version of Jeremy, the first character. And when I show to Álex, I think that he can write better with these elements.
Yeah,
that looks to me almost very much like an animation study where you're showing him from different angles and different sides and different emotions.
Exactly. Yes.
We have this influence, I think, in us, inside us. Mm-hmm. If you want, we can show you some other sketches.
Sure, that sounds great.
Mm-hmm. So I think that I can share desktop. Yep. 1 second.
Yeah, usually it's a little. If you move your mouse over, there's a little sidebar on the side, and there's what looks like a television that has an arrow coming out of it. That's green, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
It's up at the top. Okay. Sorry, it's at the top rather than the side, but.
Okay. Well, I shared desktop. 1 second.
That's us. I can see us. Yep.
And Álex.
First sketches.
¿Dónde está?
No, más arriba.
Okay. So, well, you can see some sketches about the characters. Normally, when I start the idea, or when I think the idea, doesn't have the script. So I think that we prefer to start with some sketches and after continue with the script. And for example, we know that some elements are important in the comic, and for example, mark the line of the
look and feel.
Exactly. Sorry, the look and feel of the comic. For example, the car is more thinner, and the wheels are very little.
Yeah.
So I think that is the essential. For example, the ghost with the 3 stages of the ghost. So Jeremy, it's like a turnaround, like animation. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is the
We were trying to find a good character, and these are the first sketches. And sizes, sheriff.
The sheriff is a little bit different. When I start to drawing the comic, I thought the complexity of the draw, and after when
you have to simplify.
Yes, when the comic grow up or advance, we need to simplify more the characters.
That makes a lot of sense, because you have to draw it over and over and over and over again for many, many pages. So it being simpler is easier than if it's very complex.
Exactly, and normally it's so complicated. Define one style, and in the process of the comic, during these styles, the first page to the end. So it's complicated, and normally you need to try one style comfortable for you. I think it's so important. The 3 characters is so different, like comic.
Yeah.
But it's the idea. It's the idea. Is put the ideas in.
I think they have the spirit of Jeremy, Stella, and Sam, but on a sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long does it take you to sort of go through this initial process where you're trying out, as it were, different looks of what character looks like what? How long does it take from those original sketches to the final product?
Well, in this case, it was different, because when we presented the comic to the publisher, normally you need to prepare one document with 6 pages, and the publisher liked it so much, the experience of the comic, the style. But after the decision to publish the comic, we need try it to.
Yeah, you have to restart the idea, because the style or the idea makes an evolution, and you have to. I think that you have to restart the idea to make the final comic.
But yes, normally in respond your question. Normally it depends, but 1-2 months to define the style of the comic. Yes.
Yeah. Very nice. How long did the book take you to? So once you started actually drawing it, once the publisher accepted it, and then you're doing the final drawings, how long did it take you to get from page 1 to page, what are we, 80, 90? Oh, there's no page numbers.
56. 56,
Okay.
I think.
Yes. Well,
1 year?
Yes, more or less 1 year. 1 year. I think that change the time when you start and you don't know the characters. It's more complicated. But in the final lap of the comic, on the final stage of the comic, it's more easy. But more or less 1 year. 1 year.
And from a process point of view, are you working pen and paper? Are you working digital? Drawing on a tablet? Drawing on with ink?
Well, this is a really good question, because here in Spain it's not good, or it's not it's not good work with a pen table or with a Wacom display.
Okay.
Because the traditional is more I don't know what I cannot say, but the traditional is more early popular. But this comic is from the beginning to the end is entirely with a tablet, with a Wacom tablet.
Okay.
It's digital.
Photoshop?
Yes, I work with Photoshop and that is all. What Photoshop and Wacom Cintiq.
Very good.
But always I try to search brushes more natural, and I focuses more power in the color. I think for me it's so important, the color in this comic.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was actually going to comment on how much I like the coloring and how much I like it's almost like watercolor in a way, in terms of technique. Is it, because it seems to me that if you're trained as an animator, your training is more about character expression and how a character moves. And so where did your training of color come from?
¿Cómo te has entrenado
Well,
para tener este color tan guay?
Well, I think that more people are worried about to get a style when you draw, and for me,
it's natural.
No, sorry, no. For me, I think that it's important your style and your color. I think that is a prompt for you, of you, and I think that is so important, the color to get a own style. I think that the color mix with your draw is different, because this kind of culture in your country is different, because normally one person put the color in the comics,
sometimes,
another draw.
Yep.
But here in Europe is very common.
Yeah, the illustrator usually makes all the process, the inking, the drawing, and the color.
Yeah, no, that's becoming a lot more common in America. That is a lot more common. More and more cartoonists are doing all of the work, rather than it being a production assembly line where each person does one job. Were you coloring it, because you said the color was so important, were you coloring it as you were drawing it, or did you draw it and then color it?
First draw and after color.
Okay.
But in batch of the maybe for the scenes, it depends. I devise the scenes, and after draw. This is the scenes, and after the color, but always by scenes.
Yeah, very good. Okay. I think I want to ask these guys if anybody here has any questions, and you've already got your hand up, so you get to be first.
¿Cuántos años tiene Jeremy, Stella, and Sam?
Wow! Thank you so much for your question.
Wait, say that in English.
Oh, and also, sorry, for the people in the live stream, that means how old are the characters?
How old are the characters? Okay. You can answer in Spanish if you want to. See if he can handle the answer. I don't think he can probably handle the answer in actual Spanish if you speak at a normal space, right? He's probably like one word slowly, but go ahead and answer in Spanish and see.
Well done. So, Álex.
Jeremy, Stella, and Sam are 10 years old.
Yes,
maybe?
more or less. Yes. Focused to the middle grade or
I think yes.
yes. The characters have the styles difference with the head like a cubo and
Like a square.
And normally it's complicated to put 1 year for the characters, but yes, it's more or less between 9-10 years.
Yeah, I didn't remember the age we said when we started. I thought we said between 8 and 10 years the age of the characters.
No follow-up? No. All right. Please.
Why did you choose the names for these characters?
Yeah, when you have to put a name of a character, you have to think hard because it's important for the construction of the character. I think
It's a really good question because Jeremy is a long name. Sam and Stella is a short name. I think that is so important to put the intention in the names. And for me, Jeremy is a strange name because here in Spain, Jeremy is like Jeremias. It's an ugly name. I don't know if in the United States is a common name, but I think that is a long name and that's important.
Yeah. It's we choose the names with the intuition, but I think that the names are related with his character. No, character no.
Personality?
With his personality.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Follow-up?
What?
Do you have a follow-up?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, please.
Over here on this page, where did you get the idea of like when they're like arguing?
Sorry, I can hear you.
So he's talking about the sequence where kids are arguing and it's like a video game. Here, I can pull the that page.
Yeah.
Yes.
Que se pelean. They are fighting.
So his question is why did you come up with that? Is that yeah,
Wasagi.
okay.
Well, it's the same as comment in the other question. For me, it's so important the mix in the story about the video games, animations, comics. I suppose that in our case, we don't grow up with all the information than these guys. But it's so incredible today, all the information and all the media that involve the comic is more different. And in this case, well, I enjoy a lot of Street Fighter and I think it's a good idea to put these tips in the story.
This comic has drama, has humor, and
Video games.
crazy things like this.
Uh-huh. Was so
Like this panel.
actually a follow-up question to that for me is, was that sequence, it becoming a video game, was that in the script, or was that something that you came up with while you were drawing?
Well, I think that I have a lot of yes. It's an honor work with Álex because I have a lot of freedom with and I think that is so important. Put some tips about the illustrator and mix with the writer.
Yeah, this is a crazy thing, but I like very much the crazy tips that Xavier puts in the comic.
Works fine. I think that works fine.
Yeah, no, that's great. Did you have another question you wanted to ask?
The character that's Sam, there's a video game that's like this, and he's like wearing the clothes of one of the characters.
Yeah, it's like Street Fighter, right?
Yeah, that's what I was explaining. It's like Street Fighter,
Yeah, it looks like Street Fighter. Yeah, that really wasn't a question; it was a statement.
Yes.
But that's good. I like that. Do you have any questions? No? Okay. How about the parents? The parents have any questions? No? All right. Sometimes they do. You never know.
Yes.
I
know.
I really liked the ghost story here. And it was probably my favorite part of it, was just sort of the nature of the ghost story. How much, because you were talking earlier, Álex, about how the themes were friendship and family and coming together, but none of those are necessarily a ghost story. So how did that come about?
We had the elements on the table to make a story, and we knew that we have an old radio, and we had to build a mystery, and we wanted to put a ghost in the story. So with these elements, okay, let's build a comic, and I don't know. We said we want a ghost, a mystery, and they have to investigate. Okay, with these elements, I think I see very clear. I have a one way. The ghost had to be a relation with Jeremy, that is the main character of the three, and that's the reason.
I think that works really fine. All the scary part of the comic. When I started to do this comic, I started to publish another books of illustration in United States, and more publish asked me about the dark side of my draws, and I like share with Álex only the dark side of the young comics, because I think that is so important. Complete all the comic with these different tips.
Yeah, Radio Delley has a part of drama. I like to write some characters that are real, has are real problems, like bullying or problems in the family, okay, it's a fantasy story, but the characters are real people, and their world are real too.
Yeah.
So they have problems, they have happiness.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I mean, I liked things like the fact that the sheriff, you know, while not being a great guy, throughout the book is actually a pretty decent guy. He's helping out neighbors. He's helping cats from trees, et cetera, et cetera. I liked the mystery of it. I liked this. I was surprised by things that happened in the story.
Yeah.
You guys were as well? Yeah? Yeah? Did you guys figure out who the ghost was before the story told you?
No.
You did?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
You didn't. Okay. You're usually really good about figuring out stories ahead of time.
Yeah, kind of a little bit, because that one time when they said she disappeared 7 years ago, and then like, oh, didn't Jeremy's mother disappear?
Right.
So I was kind of thinking about that.
Yeah.
But then I know.
The book kind of ends in a place where it seems like you totally could do another story of these kids. You know, because they're just ready to investigate more. Do you have ideas for more, or was that just wishful thinking?
Of course, I think is the best moment to share that Álex and me I thinking about for the second part, and I think that I can show some draws.
Oh, that
For the
sounds great.
Yes. And 1 second.
problem.
I think that Álex can explain better than me.
Así que lo busco yo.
Yes, please.
Mira, creo que no lo puse aquí. Pero está aquí. Español.
Yes, when I finish the comic, felt like that the story is not the end. So I think that is a good idea to continue with this for us is like our sons.
We have in mind 3 parts, and this is the cover of the second part. It's called A Treasure in the Snow, and after that we have another story. We are waiting. I don't remember if I have it here, but maybe
here. So
this is a restylizing of the characters for the second part, made by Xavier. You can see little difference between this and the comic book on Radio Delley. So we're waiting to start when publishers give us the chance to do it.
Yes, and you can see a new character in this storyline, and well, I think that I can.
Yeah, I want to balance the characters between girls and boys, and we have thought a character called Amy, that I'm pretty sure that you will like it very much, because I love it.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
The cover made it look, maybe it's just, you know, from the way that it was staged, the cover made it look like maybe this is more of a Stella focused story.
Sorry.
The cover made it look like perhaps it's more of a Stella-focused story, like that she's the main character. Jeremy was the main character of this. Maybe Stella's the main character of the second one.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yes.
And then I guess maybe if there's a third one, that Sam would be the star.
Exactly.
Very good. I like that. That's good, right? Yeah. You guys want to read another one, right? Yeah. So we're getting pretty enthusiastic head shaking here. That's really good. No, that's great. So you haven't actually started work on it though. You've just proposed it to your publisher.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, this comic it was created in 2014.
The Radio Delley was created in 2015.
15.
Okay.
And okay,
nowadays the situation is so different. For example, in my case, I work completely with the illustration, and I don't focus in the market of the comic, but I like it so much the idea, and I think that we want in a few months we will start.
Yeah, the second story likes very much to the publishers, but we're waiting to start it.
Sure. Did this book was successful in Spain?
Yes.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
Very good.
And we are really happy with the final result in Spain, and works fine.
Yeah,
and I think that
like it.
I think that the series like Stranger Things works really fine with this kind of comics, and for us is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree as well. Is it weird to see a book that you created in your native language translated into a different language? Like how does that feel?
Well, it's strange because normally when you draw your characters, they characters speaking in Spanish, in my case, but it's absolutely amazing. See that the characters are combined really well with the village, because this village or the comic is based in the United States, so it's really nice. Can see in English.
I think it works perfectly, and maybe better in English because they are in an English town. In an American.
Yes,
And
it's the concept, so it's really fine.
I think that it works very, very, very well. Very well.
Yeah. Well, great. This book is a lot of fun. It's got vivid characters. It's got an entertaining mystery. It's really beautifully drawn, I think. It's funny. It's action-packed. This is a great book. So I want to thank you guys for making this book. Yeah? Yeah?
Thank you.
Make noise. Make noise. There we go. That was what I wanted, the applause. Thank you. And we really, really hope that you get to have a Treasure in the Snow. We would love to see more of the kids. This is great stuff. I really want to thank you both for taking the time for your day to come and talk to us about this. And if you're sitting at home and you're looking for a new book to read, Radio Delley from IDW here in America, fantastic book. Go out and buy it. And that's what I have to say. So, I actually have one more thing to say. Next month's book, I always forget this part. Next month's book is The Breakaways by Kathy G. Johnson. She's going to be here on April 14th. This is a really good book about a soccer team, and I think you guys are really going to like this one a lot. You kids today can pick this up today because we have it. As you can see, I have it. And I also want to thank our sponsors at the Comics Beat. for being the coolest website to do news about comics and for sponsoring us and bring this to a wider audience. So, again, Radio Delley was our book this month. I want to thank you all on behalf of the Comics Experience Graphic Novel of the Month Club. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing this opportunity, Brian. Thank you so much.
Oh, we're so happy to. It's a great book.
Thank you. Thank you.
You.
Bye.